Hello and welcome everyone to yet another one of my The Flash and Arrow videos. In this video, I'll be discussing both my final predictions for the third season finale of The Flash and the deaths on the finale of Arrow Season 5. Now, I've already mentioned in a previous video, I thought Wally was the closest to the point of sacrificing himself to save his sister. I believe I did mention as well if anyone sacrificed himself out of the two versions we've got of Harrison Wells, it will be Earth 2 Harry and not HR. I also did mention that I believe the timeline might end up having a reset, and even if Iris did die, she will be spared because of such reset. What I'll do here is mention all my final predictions, one prediction for each aspect of the finale, and I'll base them on all my past theories, along with the theories of the commenters on those videos, and new theories that I've come up with and over the past couple of days based on the promo and promotional photos. I've been watching and checking out everything over and over again over the past few days, including the penultimate episode. Now, for the purpose of full transparency, I've come to read the synopsis of the fourth season of the show last night, and it kind of points in one of the directions I believe to be true here. However, it did not influence me in the least bit, considering how the synopsis itself doesn't make perfect sense. I'm guessing they didn't want to give away the finale or the resolution of whatever cliffhanger we're about to watch in a couple of days. I also assume we'll be getting another synopsis around the time of the San Diego Comic-Con, which starts on the 20th of July if I remember correctly. So, spoiler warning, if you're not interested in listening to the synopsis, even though I don't think it has spoilers or requires a warning, chances are it's something generic they're currently using for marketing purposes. But here we go. Barry Allen lived a normal life as a perpetually tardy CSI in the Central City Police Department. Barry's life changed forever when the Star Labs particle accelerator exploded, creating a dark matter lightning storm that struck Barry, bestowing him with super speed and making him the fastest man alive, the Flash. But when Barry used his extraordinary abilities to travel back in time and save his mother's life, he inadvertently created an alternate timeline known as Flashpoint, a phenomenon that gave birth to the villainous speed god known as Savitar and changed the lives of Caitlyn Snow and Wally West forever. With the help of his adoptive father Joe West, his lifelong best friend and love interest Iris West, and his friends at Star Labs, Cisco Ramon, CSI Julian Albert, and an Earth 19 novelist named H.R. Wells, Barry continues to protect the people of Central City from the metahumans that threaten it. Now, if the synopsis were to be of any truth, it pretty much removes the sacrifice of any character out of the equation. Pretty much we would walk into the upcoming season with a full team, Caitlyn and Wally with their powers, no clear indication of whether Caitlyn though would be good or evil. But what does not make sense about the synopsis is the fact that it kind of promises the return of Julian for season 4, even though we're yet to hear any news about Tom Felton being given a series regular status on the show. Now, whether or not the synopsis happens to be true, I'll still be sticking with the predictions I'm going to mention in a moment here, and hopefully I'm right about most, if not all of them. However, and once more, I don't think the CW or the producers are stupid enough to give us a hint of who stays and who leaves right now, and while we're a couple of days away from the finale. I don't think they would give us a hint of the cliffhanger or its resolution, so accordingly I'm just going to stick with my own predictions like I mentioned, and regardless of set synopsis. But there are a couple of other things before I start listing predictions though. I seriously do hope if Tom Felton was to be back for the fourth season that they manage to enrich his role further, because I believe it's significantly diminished since the reveal he was under the mask of alchemy. Tom Felton is just very talented, and he needs to be more than just a guy pining over his love for Caitlyn. I'd also be happy to watch Ann Dudek continue in her role as Tracy Brand come the fourth season. She's actually so much fun so far, and HR's continuation on the show makes it even more fun to watch her character. That actually goes both ways for both of them. But let's talk my final predictions here. My first prediction has nothing to do with the Iris arc and her death or survival. This is actually not about any of my theories either. This is rather about a theory mentioned by a commenter on my channel about Savitar having a change of heart, ending up with Barry and Savitar working together to sort out this mess they've created. There's this one promotional photo for the finale that got me to think deeply about this theory and realize how possible that is. Now, what Savitar would do in this case is all up in the air. I'm guessing this promotional photo right here indicates Barry is so chill while Savitar stands right there, close to him, inside Star Labs. I'm guessing as well is all different than what we expect or should expect for the finale. Savitar won't go down in the way both villains did on the first and second seasons, clear-cut defeated. This will probably be different. I'm guessing that will also go hand in hand with Captain Cold's beat him with hope and by being yourself speech we watched during the events of the penultimate episode. My second prediction is all about how Barry will end up paying for all his mistakes by the end of the finale. Yes, Savitar has been the villain all the way, but Barry will have to pay for all the messes he's created. After all, Barry's choice created Savitar. However though, and in my opinion, this will happen in one of two ways. The first one is by giving himself up to the Speed Force, where he would be imprisoned to pay for all his time traveling mistakes and the messes he created. Now in this case, I'd predict that the team would be racing throughout the first couple of episodes of the 4th season to get Barry out and bring him back into the fold of the team, both as a result of their inability to accept he's gone for good, and possibly because the city needs its Flash. Now the second option here is more about my Season 3 Barry becomes a Time Remnant theory, whereby he would end up traveling to the Season 2 timeline and ensuring a Season 2 version never creates Flashpoint, thus ending the life cycle of this timeline and its current version of things. This would be the best punishment for Barry, sacrificing himself to save Iris, knowing it might not even work out as well as it worked for the relationship so far in this timeline. And yes, it is some sort of a soft reset, and it's not such a horrible idea as someone claimed in the comments to an earlier video. Comic books have been full of reboots and resets and do-overs, so it is not the worst thing in the world, and I'm not high or drunk for assuming that is possible. Now in terms of who died, it is really hard for me to decide. On one hand, there are all these leaked set photos that indicate it is either Harry or HR, and on the other hand, there is the fact the showrunners might have changed that after the leak. On one hand, it makes sense it would be Iris followed by Wally followed by Harry and finally HR, but on the other hand, it could be HR on top of that list. But I'll make one final guess anyway and say it was a Wells. I'll be more specific even and guess Earth 2 Harry. Let's give it a thought here though. What if Harry was actually as ill as he tried to convince Wally he was earlier this season, maybe even sicker? We were given the impression he was relaying that story as a fake intended to trick Wally into sending Jessie back to Earth 2 with him rather than having her stay. But what if it was all real? And what if in realizing his chances of living longer are limited, he decides to repay the debt he owes Joe and Team Flash for saving his daughter from the hands of Zoom on the 2nd season and ends up replacing Iris. He is, after all, and as I mentioned on my latest video, a father, which makes him understand the pain of losing a child or possibly losing a child, and even better, a father who almost lost his daughter not too long ago to a similar villain speedster. Now if we give the release synopsis any weight, whoever died on the penultimate episode will be back for the upcoming season of the show, unless that person who died right there was someone not mentioned in that synopsis. We've got Jesse Quick, we've got Earth 2 Wells, we've got Tracy Brand, and finally Cecile. Those are the characters we watched on the 3rd season who know about Savitar and who didn't get a single mention in the synopsis. So if I'm going to go with the synopsis as my guide here, I'm still going to guess Earth 2 Wells. Now when it comes to Caitlyn, I'm guessing she will as well have some sort of a change of heart. One that won't be final, but I'm pretty sure Cisco is not going to lose his hands and his powers. I really have a feeling Caitlyn will resurface in a manner of speaking, like there will be a struggle between the good and the evil, but Caitlyn will take control of Killer Frost, temporarily, powers and all, and without any power dampeners as well. That of course doesn't mean it would be the last we see of Killer Frost, but we'll probably see a struggle, Caitlyn taking over for a while, and Killer Frost coming back, and so on and so forth. Maybe we'll even get a glimpse of that on the finale. Think of it as more of a Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde situation going on with her. Again, my belief here is based on this one promotional photo where she looks more on Cisco's side rather than fighting him, like they're both startled by something or someone maybe. There is as well this scene on the promo in which she looks saddened by something, possibly the news of Iris or Harry's death. Yes, I'm sticking with Harry. Now in the same manner that a synopsis has been released for The Flash Season 4, one has been released for Arrow Season 6. And again, it is indicative of no major deaths on the finale of the 5th season, hence leading to my belief they're possibly all generic except for that of Legends of Tomorrow. But I still do come with predictions in all cases. Now that we know that the entirety of Team Arrow will be on the island for his final showdown with Chase, it is safe to say that once we eliminate Thea, Wild Dog, and Dinah Drake from the equation, we can start guessing who's gonna die. I think that Merlin is a goner considering he didn't get his Arrowverse contract renewed and we know he won't be showing on any of the shows next season. I want to say Oliver will kill Chase, but I think he won't. But I seriously believe either Curtis or Felicity are going down before the finale comes to a close. But those are 2 out of 3 deaths on the finale, and the 3rd is reserved for either of the 2 League of Assassins sisters. Now I think it's gonna be Nyssa because Talia has a much bigger villain story to tell and hopefully she will over the seasons to come. Then again, Nyssa is the hotter sister, but I'll go with her dying, I guess. But with my predictions being shared and all of this being said, let me know what your very own final predictions are for the finales of both Arrow and The Flash. There's no harm in having 2 to 3 preferred outcomes when it comes to The Flash, considering the theories out there are way too many. Remember as well, it would be much appreciated if you drop me a like if you like the content of this video, and if you subscribed if you want to see more of my Arrowverse videos. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you soon.